Hello students, today's video is about order of operations. I like to think of order of operations like a recipe. And stay with me on this, right? So let's say I want to make something simple like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And this is my version of a drawing of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I need some of you artists to help me get way better at drawing. But there's an order, right? You get out the bread, you put the stuff in the middle, you close the bread, and maybe you cut it, maybe you cut the crust off. Do you do diagonal? Do you cut it half? Whatever. Pretty simple, right? It seems like, well, of course that's how I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But what if I tried to put the peanut butter on the table before I got any bread out? And then put the jelly on top of the peanut butter, and then got the bread out? That would be a disaster. So a recipe tells you what order to do things to get a good result. Same with order of operations. Order of operations tells you what order to do things to get a correct answer. And I got us set up with some problems, but I forgot to set us up with the mnemonic device for remembering. So there's PEM, DOS, and then there's GEM, DOS. And I want to do it like this. So PEMDAS stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, M for multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. GEMDOS is the same, but G instead is for grouping symbols. So those would be, let me erase these. Grouping symbols would include parentheses, brackets, and if you had something like 2 plus 3 over 8 minus 1. So this bar here means division, but it's also acting as a grouping symbol because it's telling you to do 2 plus 3 and then 8 minus 1 and then divide those. Okay? So some people say PEMDAS, the P for parentheses, but a lot of teachers have started using GEMDOS because there's more grouping symbols than parentheses. There's also brackets, and there's also a division bar. Okay, so parentheses or other grouping symbols, then exponents, then multiplication, then division, then addition, then subtraction. And actually, I just said something kind of wrong. Here's where kids get really mixed up. Okay? Multiplication and division come in the same step, and you do whichever is first, left to right. Very important. So you don't have to do all multiplication before division. If division comes first in the equation and then multiplication, you can do division first. You should do division first. And the same is true for addition and subtraction. They come in the same step, and you do them in order from left to right. So I'll talk about that during the video. It's very important. So let's do some examples. So our first example is from your first worksheet. -5 to the second power minus 2 times -9 plus 6. Okay, so we have parentheses here, but only to clarify, to make our integers clear. So these parentheses are here just so that we know that this is -5 and this is -9. So we're actually good on parentheses. So next is exponents. Okay, so I do have an exponent here. So I'm going to do -5 squared, which is, I'm going to go -5 times -5. That's going to be a positive 25. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this as 25, and then I'm just going to write the whole rest of the equation. -2 times -9 plus 6. So we're good on exponents. Next is multiplication and division from left to right. So that's going to be here, right here. This is my only multiplication or division, 2 times -9. So I'm going to rewrite this as 25 minus, I'm not doing anything with that yet, and then 2 times -9, a positive times a negative is a negative, and 2 times 9 is 18, so I'm going to write 18, and I'm going to rewrite plus 6. Okay, so I've done all my multiplication and division from left to right in the same step. And then I'm going to do addition and subtraction from left to right, same step. And you'll notice here's a great example. Subtraction comes first in the equation. So I'm going to do my subtraction first and then add. You do addition and subtraction, the same step from left to right. Okay? So 25 minus 18 is 7 plus 6. That equals 13. And that is our final answer. Okay, next. Each one's going to get a little bit harder. The thing about order of operations is they take time, and I do want you to rewrite each step. That's important, or you'll lose track. Okay, so next, let's start with parentheses. Now again, these parentheses are only here to help us with our integers, to make sure we don't get confused. There's no operations inside the parentheses, so we're good. Next is exponents. Okay, we have an exponent here. We have -6 squared. Okay, so -6 squared means -6 times -6. -6 times itself twice. And so I'm going to rewrite, and that equals positive 36. So I'm going to rewrite, I'm going to write 8 divided by -4 times, and then I'm just going to substitute in, that's an important word we're going to use really soon. I'm going to take my answer here and substitute it into the equation. Substitution, important word. Okay, so I'm done with exponents, and then it's time for multiplication and division from left to right in the same step. So I've got division here, multiplication here, and then addition. So I'll do that last. So I'll do this and then this. So 8 divided by -4 is going to be a negative. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and that's 2. So I'm going to get 2 times 36 plus 7. So I'm going to do my multiplication next. So I'm going to get -2 times 36, a negative times a positive, so it's going to be negative. And 36 times 2 is 72, I think. 72. So I get 72, negative 72, plus 7. And so my last step, and let me really quick make that I did all my multiplication and division, the same step, left to right. So now I have -72 plus 7. Ooh, fun. Okay, so the answer is going to be negative because I've got more of these. And these 7 positives are going to cancel out 7 of these negatives, so it's a subtraction problem. 72 minus 7 is 65. So I have -65. And I can envision a big integer board with 72 negatives and 7 positives, and I make my 0 pairs, and I'm left with 65 negatives. Okay? I've been doing this long enough that I see that in my head now. And you guys will too, with, practice. And it'll be a couple years, right? A year or 2, and you'll start to get really good at it. Okay, so that is my final answer. I did Oops, I did addition and subtraction last from left to right in the same step. I am done, and that is correct. Okay. Next. Woo, okay, we've got some parentheses action in this one. Parentheses. Okay, so let's start with this parentheses. 10 plus 2 minus 5. 10 plus 2, well, okay, I'm tempted to shortcut, but I gotta be good, just like I'm asking you guys to be, so I'm gonna do all the steps. So 10 plus 2 is 12, minus 5, times 6 squared divided by the quantity of 8 minus 4. Okay, next, inside this parentheses, 12 minus 5 is 7, times 6 squared divided by the quantity of 8 minus 4. Okay, I'm still working on parentheses, you guys. So now I've got this parentheses to do, and inside that parentheses, I also have to follow the order of operations. So I need to do this first, and then we'll go from there. We'll rewrite it and see what's up. So I'm going to get 7 times 6 squared divided by the quantity of 8 minus 4 is 4. Okay? Uh-oh, I'm running out of room. Now, I'm down to this inside parentheses. I have to do this first, because here's what's interesting is I've got a mini equation or expression right here. And so I have to follow order of operations inside my parentheses. So I do exponents first and then divide. So I'm going to get 7 times 6 squared means 6 times 6, that's 36. So I get 36 divided by 4. And then, okay, so now I'm going to do the last thing I have in parentheses, which is 36 divided by 4, which is it 9? Hang on, I'm having a brain fart. Let me check my calculator real quick. Yeah, okay, I still got it. So I'm going to have 7 times 9. So I'm finally done with my parentheses, but keep in mind that as I did these parentheses here and here, I followed order of operations inside the parentheses as well. So really I've done all of this. And now it's time for multiplication. Ooh. Multiplication and division in the same step left to right. I don't have any addition or subtraction. My last step is going to be multiplication and division. 7 times 9 is 63. Okay, and I'm done. These are fun. I think this is our last one. Whew, let's see okay, I gotta write smaller so I can fit it all in. Here we go. Let's start with P, parentheses, or grouping symbols. Okay, so here I have parentheses, but within my parentheses, I need to do exponents before I divide. Okay, so I'm going to get 10 times 4 minus 2 times 4 times 4 is 16, divide by 4, divide by 2, divide by 1/2, plus 9. Okay, so I'm still on parentheses. I still need to do this next. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So I'm going to rewrite 10 times 4 minus 2 times, and actually at this step I can leave out the parentheses, times 4, and then divide by 2, divide by 1/2, plus 9 equals. Oh man, I better get this right. Even for me, there's a lot of places to mess up, so I got to take my time. I'm going to check. So I did exponents first. 4 squared, or 4 to the second power, means 4 times 4, which is 16, divided by 4 brings us back to 4. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, I did that right. And I rewrote everything correctly. Okay, so I think I'm ready. I'm ready for my exponents. Oops, no exponents left. So I'm done. So I have a lot of multiplication and division left to do. In the same step, left to right. So I'm going to do this, and then this. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's just start with 10 times 4. 40 minus 2 times 4, divide by 2, divide by 1/2. I gotta do it right or I'm gonna mess up. So now I'm gonna do this one. Okay, so 40 minus 2 times 4 is 8, and just rewrite everything else. Okay, so now I'm going to do this, 8 divided by 2. So I'm going to get 40 minus 8 divided by 2 is 4, and just rewrite everything else. Okay, so now I have my last division is right here, 4 divided by 1/2. I don't know if you guys know your fractions. If we have any time, we can spend some time on it, but 4 divided by 1/2, well, we can write 4 as 4 over 1, so I get 4 over 1 divided by 1 over 2. When you divide, you do 4 over 1, you switch it to multiplication, and you flip. So it's kind of like keep, change, change. We call it keep, change, flip. And so then you just multiply straight across, and you get 8 over 1, which is 8. So the answer to 4 divided by 1/2 is 8. So you get 40 minus 8 plus 9. So I'm done with multiplication and division, and I'm just left with addition and subtraction left to right in the same step. So 40 minus 8 is 32 plus 9 equals, is that 41? Yep, 41. Woo! Okay, long video. The keys are to go slow, check your work, write everything. Go slow, step by step by step. Don't try to do more than one step at a time. It'll take you a long time at first, but they'll get faster. Okay? Good job. Start with the easy ones, and there's 3 worksheets for this skill. Starts with the easiest, then medium, then hard. Okay, and I want you to do all 3. Good job. Thank you. Bye-bye.